The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled on Friday that officials can place ballot drop boxes throughout their communities for this fall's elections, reversing a decision made 2 years ago that restricted their use in the presidential swing state. In July 2022, the court limited drop boxes to local election clerks' offices and mandated that only the voter could return a ballot in person. At that time, conservatives held the majority on the court. But the election of Janet Protasiewicz in April 2023 shifted control to the Liberals. Seizing this opportunity, Priorities USA, a progressive voter mobilization group, asked the court in February to reconsider the previous ruling. Currently, at least 29 other states allow absentee ballot drop boxes, according to the U.S. Vote Foundation. And expanding their use in Wisconsin could significantly impact the presidential race. Wisconsin is anticipated to be a key swing state again, following President Joe Biden's narrow victory in 2020 and Donald Trump's close win in 2016. Democrats believe that facilitating absentee voting will increase turnout for their candidates. In March, the justices agreed to review the drop box ban but did not address other parts of the case. This decision angered the court's conservatives, who accused the Liberals of attempting to benefit the Democrats in the upcoming elections. Democratic Governor Tony Evers urged the court in April to reinstate the use of drop boxes. On Friday, the court ruled 4-3 in favor of allowing drop boxes in any location. Justice Ann Walsh Bradley, representing the majority of the court's 4 liberal justices, stated that placing a ballot in a drop box maintained by a local election clerk is equivalent to handing it to the clerk directly, regardless of the box's location. She emphasized that local clerks have significant discretion in how they conduct elections, including the use and placement of drop boxes. Our decision today does not force or require that any municipal clerks use drop boxes, Bradley wrote. It merely acknowledges what state law has always meant, that clerks may lawfully utilize secure drop boxes in an exercise of their statutorily conferred discretion. All 3 conservative justices dissented. Justice Rebecca Bradley argued that the Liberals are pushing their political agenda and criticized them for disregarding the 2022 precedent. The majority in this case overrules the 2022 decision, not because it is legally erroneous, but because the majority finds it politically inconvenient, Bradley wrote. The majority's activism marks another triumph of political power over legal principle in this court. The use of absentee voting surged during the 2020 pandemic, with over 40% of voters casting mail ballots, a record high. More than 500 drop boxes were installed in over 430 communities that year, including more than a dozen each in Madison and Milwaukee, the state's 2 most heavily Democratic cities. Despite claims by Trump and Republicans that drop boxes enabled cheating, no evidence was provided. Democrats, election officials, and some Republicans argued that the boxes are secure, and an Associated Press survey found no cases of fraud, vandalism, or theft that could have impacted the 2020 results. Republicans in the Wisconsin legislature, who intervened in the case, argued for maintaining the 2022 ruling. Their attorney, Misha Tasaitlin, did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Friday. Matt Fisher, spokesperson for the state Republican Party, labeled the decision a setback. This latest attempt by leftist justices to placate their far-left backers will not go unanswered by voters, he said in a statement. Dane County Clerk Scott McDonnell, who oversees elections in the state's most Democratic county, described drop boxes as a common sense tool. He noted that they make the election process more convenient for rural and disabled voters and help reduce the number of ballots that arrive too late to be counted. Having drop boxes in place for the 2024 elections in August and November will encourage civic participation in our democracy, McDonnell said in a statement.